Alright, I'm gonna go under the desk.
14th anniversary of the Great East Japan Earthquake. Day of mourning, prayers held at the time of the earthquake, ceremonies and memorial lights. It has been 14 years since the Great East Japan Earthquake and the accident at the Tokyo Electric Power Company's Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The total number of deaths and missing from the Great East Japan Earthquake, including disaster-related deaths, is 22,228 and 27,615 people are living in evacuation centers. A moment of silence was held nationwide at 2:46 p.m., the time of the earthquake, marking a day of mourning for the victims. A powerful 9.0 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Tohoku. A tsunami more than 10 meters high was generated along the Tohoku coast. A meltdown occurred at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, releasing large amounts of radioactive material. (22,228 people are dead or missing, 15,900 dead due to earthquake, tsunami, etc., 2,520 missing and 3,808 deaths due to earthquake-related causes. According to the National Police Agency, as of the 1st of this month, 15,900 people have died from the earthquake and tsunami. By prefecture, there are 9,544 cases in Miyagi Prefecture, 4,675 in Oiwa Prefecture, 1,614 in Fukushima Prefecture, 24 in Ibaraki Prefecture, 21 in Chiba Prefecture, 7 in Tokyo, 4 each in Tohoku Prefecture and Kanagawa Prefecture, 3 in Aomori Prefecture, 2 in Yamagata Prefecture, and 1 each in Hokkaido and Gama Prefecture. In addition, the number of missing persons is 2,520, including 1,213 in Miyagi Prefecture, 1,107 in Oiwa Prefecture, 196 in Fukushima Prefecture, 2 in Chiba Prefecture, and 1 each in Aomori Prefecture and Ibaraki Prefecture. According to a summary by the Reconstruction Agency on the 1st of last month, the number of people forced to stay in evacuation shelters is 27,615. The Great East Japan Earthquake Memorial Ceremony and Prayer for Recovery, held in Fukushima City, was attended by more than 360 people from inside and outside the prefecture, including Prime Minister Ishiba and Governor Uchipori. At the ceremony, everyone observed a moment of silence at 2:46 p.m., the time the earthquake struck, and offered prayers for the victims. At the ceremony, Governor Uchibori said, "As long as the people still have the desire to bring back the atmosphere full of memories filled with smiles and enthusiasm, I believe we can restore our hometown to its original condition." The Takata Pine Forest in Rikuzentakata City, Iwate Prefecture, was once home to 70,000 pine trees, but all were swept away in the tsunami caused by the earthquake, leaving only the miracle pine trees standing. Since then, embankments have been built and pine trees have been planted, and the area is now open to the public as a memorial park for the reconstruction of the area. Many people gathered at the park from past 2:00 p.m. today, laying flowers at the memorial site set up on the embankment and praying. Then at 2:46 p.m., when the siren sounded over the disaster prevention radio, everyone observed a moment of silence, reflecting on their memories. At 2:46 p.m., many people gathered at the embankment in Arahama Ward, Wakabayashi District, Sendai, where about 200 people lost their lives and quietly put their hands together in prayer. At 2:46 p.m. in the Tsurushi district of Shinchi City, a coastal area in Fukushima Prefecture that was badly damaged by the Great East Japan earthquake, 12 local residents gathered around a memorial monument in the Disaster Prevention Green Park and observed a moment of silence facing the sea, with bells ringing in memory of the victims and a disaster prevention radio siren blaring in the background. Prayers were also said during the quake at a public housing complex for disaster victims in Koriyama City, Fukushima Prefecture, where residents displaced by the accident at the Tokyo Electric Power Company's Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant live. In front of the assembly hall, about 500 candles were lined up with signs reading 3.11 and 1.1. The dates of the Great East Japan earthquake and the Noto Peninsula earthquake, respectively, and a minute of silence was observed at 2:46 p.m. To commemorate the victims of the Great East Japan earthquake and prevent their memory from fading, a memorial bell is rung at the clock tower at the Ginza 4-Chum intersection in Tokyo's Chuo Ward every year on March 11, the day the earthquake struck. At 2:46 p.m., the bell rings for 1 minute, and many people around the clock tower stop, join hands, and observe a moment of silence. In the city of Kisunuma, Miyagi Prefecture, which was badly damaged by the tsunami, people were seen performing morning prayers at a hilltop park that offers sweeping views of the ocean and the city. On a plaque at the memorial park, the Reconstruction of Kisunuma City, built on a hilltop with a panoramic view of the city, lists the names of the victims and the direction of their homes. Since early morning, people have been laying flowers and bowing deeply toward the sea. In Iwaki City, Fukushima Prefecture, an area affected by the tsunami, people have been holding their hands facing the sea. In Usuiso District, where more than 100 people died, about 10 people gathered on the beach at around 6 a.m. this morning and silently held their hands facing the sea. In Onagawa City, Miyagi Prefecture, volunteers have been holding up yellow handkerchiefs for the past 7 years in reference to the film, The Yellow Handkerchief of Happiness. About 15 volunteers gathered at the plaza in front of JR Onagawa Station and held up about 1,200 handkerchiefs tied with string. About 200 new handkerchiefs are added each year, and today a new message corner has been set up in the plaza where visitors can write down their wishes for a cure. The former Disaster Prevention Office building in Minami Sanriku City, Miyagi Prefecture, was hit by a tsunami about 16 meters high that exceeded the roof, killing 43 people, including city officials and local residents who were responding to the disaster. After that, there was a difference of opinion among the victims' families and residents about whether the building should be preserved or demolished. Initially, the prefecture was responsible for maintaining and managing the building. However, the city later decided to preserve it as a relic of the disaster. The building was returned to the city in July last year. Today, the first March 11th since then, the bereaved families and local residents visited the site for mourning, laying flowers at the memorial and praying silently. At the memorial facility, Kameishi Prayer Park in Kameishi City, Iwaki Prefecture, there is a memorial plaque listing the names of 1,003 victims who lived in the city and whose families have agreed to make their names public. Since morning, visitors have been placing flowers under the memorial plaque to pay their respects to their loved ones, including family and friends who lost their lives in the disaster. A moment of silence was also observed in several committees in the House of Representatives and the Regional People's Representative Council. At the beginning of the House of Representatives General Committee meeting, when the chairman of the meeting asked for a moment of silence, all members present closed their eyes and prayed for the victims. Today, Rakuten played an exhibition match against Yakult at Kusanagi Stadium in Shizuoka City. Flags were flown at half-mast at the stadium, and before the match started at 1 p.m., manager Hajime Miki, pitchers Kishi Takayuki and Kana Ryuta, who are from Miyagi Prefecture, and Yakult head coach Shima Motohiro, who, as president of the Rakuten Players Union at the time of the disaster, had worked hard to support the recovery efforts, called on fans to show us the true power of baseball, among others, lining the field and observing a minute of silence to remember those who died in the disaster. Head coach Shima said, "Although the uniforms we wore were different from the ones we wore in the past, this was a day I will never forget. I think the appeal of sports is that they can inspire and encourage many people. I believe that it is destiny that we are playing against Rakuten today, so I hope that the fans will come and see our young players working hard." In the Minamihama district of Ishinomaki, which was badly damaged by the tsunami, a wooden sign measuring 2 meters high and 11 meters wide with the words, "Let's do our best," Ishinomaki has been up since immediately after the disaster. At exactly 2:46 p.m., a bell rang in front of the sign, and about 700 residents and volunteers clasped their hands in prayer before the sign. Then, as a sign of mourning for the victims, colorful balloons and dove-shaped balloons were simultaneously released into the sky. At Okawa Elementary School in Ishinomaki City, Miyagi Prefecture, 84 students and teachers were killed in an earthquake 14 years ago. On March 11, the children's families and others lit homemade bamboo lanterns again at the elementary school in hopes of honoring their loved ones and preventing the memory of the disaster from fading. 108 lanterns, equal to the number of students enrolled at the school at the time, lined a plaza near the school building, and as darkness fell, the lanterns were lit and the bereaved families offered prayers. Toshiro Sato, who lost his daughter, who was in 6th grade at the time, said, "I think the gathering of all the little lights we made together has a lot of meaning. I want to think about the lives that were lost."